Today I'm going to be giving this car's interior a deep clean to bring it up to a much better standard. Now this car hasn't had a proper interior clean in well over 6 months. The owner has also just come back from a trip to the coast where they took the dog as well, so there's just loads of sand, dirt and dog hair on the back seats in particular. I'm also going to be using some products that were kindly sent to test out by Garage Therapy, Yum Cars and the Leather Repair Company. So I started by cleaning the mats as I wanted to give them enough time to dry throughout the day. So once I'd removed them, I gave them a thorough hoover, which did remove the vast majority of the sand and pet hair. I then went in with a 5% mix of Green Star all-purpose cleaner in the IK sprayer, sprayed that on the mats and allowed it to sit on there for around 5 minutes before working it in with a drill brush. This allowed me to lift all the kind of stains and mud out of the fabric before I actually rinse them down with the pressure washer, just to get rid of all that product, as I found it to be the quickest and most efficient way of doing it. I then just used the Vax spot wash to extract as much of that water as I possibly could so the mats could dry a lot quicker. Once I'd dealt with the mats, I then continued to vacuum the rest of the interior. So I used the crevice attachment and the brush attachment, which I prefer to use on the seats and the harder plastics here, as there's just a lot of sand that I didn't really want to kind of rub into the surface with that crevice attachment. So I removed the bulk of the pet hair and sand first using that brush, and then went in the crevice attachment to get into the tighter areas and to clean the carpets. Once I'd vacuumed as much of the debris as I could, I then used a different drill brush attachment to lift some of the more ingrained sand from the fabrics, so I could just go back in with the hoover again and tidy the rest of it up. The next thing I did was move on to cleaning the actual surfaces. On the leather seats and steering wheel, I went for the Colour Lock leather cleaner, and this is the mild variety, as I find that it's potent enough to deal with pretty much most things that I've tried it on. And I used the Colour Lock leather brush just to give it a bit more agitation compared to just using a microfiber towel or a softer style brush. This cleaner has a nice foaming action which does make it a little bit more enjoyable to use and avoids really saturating the leather. On the plastics, I went for the Yum Interior Cleaner. So this is another powerful cleaner that foams up nicely when agitated. Here I used a collection of softer and stiffer brushes on the areas that required more agitation. And I also used the Yum exfoliator pad on the particularly dirty areas. The cleaner has a nice mild mint scent, which isn't too overwhelming. I just used it neat here as the car was quite dirty. However, I have tried diluting this down to around 1 to 3 and it still does a really good job on more well-maintained interiors. On the pedals, I again went in with that Yum Interior Cleaner, but agitated this using a toothbrush, as I find it's the most ergonomic one in my collection to deal with this area. Then I just went ahead and sprayed them with clean water to rinse out all that product and dirt, and then just dried them using the microfiber towel. On the infotainment screen, I went for the Garage Therapy Glass Cleaner and Glass Towel, which never let me down in terms of leaving a streak-free finish. And I also opted for that product on the interior glass as well. Once I was happy with how clean the interior was, I then went on to protecting the leather and the plastic surfaces. On the plastic, I went for the Garage Therapy Dash Serum, which leaves a really nice satin but darkened finish. It also leaves an anti-static finish, so it should help to keep the interior a little bit less dusty. On the leather, I went for the Leather Repair Company LRC4 Protection Cream. This just helps to shield the leather from any spillages or dirt. It's not a leather conditioner, so it's a good option for newer interiors where the clear coat is still intact, and it just leaves a completely natural matte looking finish.